Hello there. Thanks for joining this webinar. And you will know about me very soon, so I'm not going to get into the details and who I am and things like that. But I have designed this resilience webinar or workshop keeping in mind that the strategies or practices which I'm going to say can be utilized from a 6-year-old to a 60-year-old. So they are very simple practices which can make you happier, joyful in any challenging time. So that could be stress, anxiety, depression, or fear, right? So they are very simple techniques and you can utilize it anytime. So they are not long practices like you have to sit and do something for 30 minutes or 20 minutes. They are very simple and short techniques which is proven by science to work on any age. So they are from 1 minute to 5 minutes, very basic simple techniques which is going to make you resilient. So let me start with this first slide, and I want you to guess what this would mean. So people in the world have some access to electricity. So what percentage of people in the world have access to some kind of electricity? So just guess, or you can put it in comments as well if you wish. Okay, whatever your guess is, the answer is 80% of the people have some access to electricity, which is amazing. The next one is, in the last 20 years, the proportion of the world population living in extreme poverty what has happened to people in extreme poverty in last 20 years? They've been reduced by 10%, they've been increased by 20%. Just give me some kind of a number. So just guess what would have happened in the last 20 years for people who are living in poverty. And the answer is, it is almost halved, right? 50%. It's been reduced by 50%. So that's amazing news, right? Next one. What is the life expectancy of the world today? So what is the average life of people in the world nowadays, right? Just give me a number, like keep it in your head. What do you think? What would be the life expectancies? And the answer is 70 years. So we live on an average, not everyone, but the average is 70 years of life expectancy in the world. This was in the 1920s, 30s. It was right around 30, 40 years. We used to live 30, 40 years only. So in 100 years, we have made a significant jump in our life expectancy and living standards. So why I was showing this is because we human beings are a resilient bunch of monkeys. We have changed the outlook and comfort of our life, right? So we can face any kind of challenges, right? So building resilience in uncertain times. So the uncertain time could be this whole coronavirus which we are experiencing right now when I'm doing this webinar. And how do we navigate? Because there are a lot of uncertainty. We don't know what is going to happen and when it's going to happen and who will survive, right? So uncertain time could be anything. It might be a breakup, it might be a financial loss, it could be a loss of a loved one, right? So building resilience is what we are going to talk. And as you can see in the background, the kid is making the blocks one step at a time. And that's what I will be talking about, that we can become more and more resilient one step at a time. So without further ado, let's get into the presentation or the workshop. Okay. Every workshop I start with this quote: Confusion and suffering may be our birthright, but wisdom and happiness are available. What does this mean? As soon as we are born, there is the race is going on, right? It's the race for survival. And if you are not in the survival mode, if you are having all the basic needs sorted, like the food and shelter and connections, we start thriving. We want to get more and more, right? So confusion happens and suffering happens. But wisdom and happiness are available, right? So science has made so much progress. The religious literature, the ancient literature, the Stoics and philosophers, they have given a lot of tools and techniques which can help us become more wiser and happier. And that's the premises. So we are not going to say, if you do this workshop, you will be the happiest person, but you will have tools and techniques which is going to help you navigate this uncertainty, this confusion and suffering. Okay, if you are into birds and animals and environment, you might be familiar with this kind of a life cycle of a butterfly. Why I'm showing it is there was a story of emperor moth, and what it is about is the whole cycle from a caterpillar to butterfly. It takes a while, right? It's the whole transformation which happens. So in the story, there was a lady who comes and she sees the cocoon, right? So the little cocoon and the caterpillar or the moth struggling to get out of it, right? And she says, let me cut this cocoon and let me free this butterfly. So the butterfly will have less struggle. And a wise man who was sitting or standing next to him said, you know why this cocoon is there? What is the reason for it? The more the time which is given for this whole process, the butterfly gets the fluid into the wings, right? And that helps the butterfly fly, right? So it's a process. If you cut this cocoon and free him, imagine what could happen. The butterfly, there will be no butterfly, and the moth will struggle to survive. So basically what I'm trying to say is there is no shortcut. We all have to practice to become happier and healthier, right? So we have to go through a process to become more resilient, happier, and joyful. So if you are thinking that once I'll do this workshop, I'll be the happiest person in the world, this is not a motivational speech. This is practical and pragmatic tools which you are going to get, which is going to help you become resilient for life, right? So it's not going to be like, okay, yes, I'll be the happiest person within 1 hour. It's not. Sorry for the bad news. If you are thinking that the life will be very, 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 very good within an hour, it might not. But you can make your life very, 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 very amazing if you practice these tools and techniques. Thank you very much. Okay. This quote was uttered or written 500 years ago. My life has been filled with terrible misfortune, most of which never happened. So looking at that quote, there was a bunch of scientists. They said, let's find out what we worry about, how many times it comes true, right? And what they found was the numbers are amazing, right? 85% what we worry about never happens. So what they did was they got few people in the lab and they asked them to list down everything. What are the things which you are worried about? And the people wrote down all the worries they had. And then they gave this time frame, and they were checking like what is happening. So if I'm worried about, oh, tomorrow this could happen, after 2 weeks I might lose my job, my friend is going to get sick, or anything like those, right? So they wrote down all the worries. So from that, 85% things did not happen. From the 15%, the other 15% did happen, what they worried about. Then they asked these people, okay, so this 15% did happen. How were you able to manage it? Were you able to manage this situation which happened? And the participants said 79% we were able to manage this situation above our expectations. So we were worrying for no reason. We had all the skills and resources to manage our worries, right? So if you look at the overall number, 97% of the time, what we worry is just mental chatter. The stories our mind keeps telling us. It's just kind of a fearful mind. And in a way, it's a good thing. We do need that fear because it's the survival mechanism. We have used this fear to survive so long and create so amazing, comfortable life around us. But in this world, 97% chatter is useless. So please look into this mind chatter, and I'm going to tell you how to overcome this mental chatter and not worry. Okay, challenges. This is the fundamental, the first part of this webinar. We face a lot of challenges, from viruses to weathers to breakups to financial stress or arguments, a lot of things. The challenges gets us stuck, right? So these challenges are mental or physical illness and anything, right? So these challenges gets us stuck. So I'm going to tell you some of the main one which I see and most of the psychologists see as the mental challenges which we all face. So it's not the exhaustive list of all the challenges which we face, but these are the basic categories of challenges which we face. So I'm going to tell you about that, and you might be facing them or you might not be facing them, but think this as a general category of the challenges which we all face. So the first one, I want you to observe this image. So just for 10-20 seconds, observe this. Okay, so as you can see, the man is thinking about the boss or the car or the wife or the computer and music and or speech and a lot of things. But the dog is just observing the environment. So you might relate to this one. We are either living in the past or we are living either in the future. When we go to the past, we bring stress. We always go to the negative events most of the time. When we go to the future, what we do? We bring worry. Oh, if this happens, if that happens, if that person says this. So our mind is always full, F-U-L-L. And if you drop one L, mindful, that basically means we are paying attention to the present moment without being judgmental. We are just observing what it is right now. What am I experiencing? Am I talking with someone? So I'm hearing the words, I'm processing the words rather than going in the future or the past, right? So this is one of the biggest challenge which we all have. And the scientists, what they found was, we normally get around 60 to 80,000 thoughts in a day. And from that, 8 hours normally we sleep as well. So this time frame of 60 to 80,000 47% of the time we are mind wandering. So we are not enjoying the present moment. We are either in the past or the future. We are not in the now. So this 47% of the time we are somewhere else. And the conclusion of that research was the wandering mind is not a happy mind. So if you are wandering a lot and if you are not able to connect to the present moment, it has been proven that you will not be a happy person. So the first challenge, mindful and mindful, FUL. I want you to be FUL, not double L. Okay. Uncertainty we fear. Uncertainty creates a lot of creativity. Let's say your life is perfectly balanced and everything just works, right? You wake up in the morning, your clothes are there, bed sheets and your towels and everything is perfect. Your breakfast is served, the kids are behaving perfectly, wife is behaving, husband's behaving, the maids and employees, they are all behaving, the traffic is perfect and everything, like the whole life is to the point, to the dot. It's just like robotic, automatic, right? We get bored with that. Uncertainty creates creativity, and why we feel that uncertainty is fearful is we want everything to be perfectly rolling, but that's not the law of nature. We don't know when we're gonna die. We don't know when we're gonna get sick. We don't know when we're gonna get that big paycheck. We don't know when we are going to get the hug, right? So uncertainty makes life joyful in certain extent. So we are fearful of uncertainty, and because of that there is a lot of anxiety and pain which we experience. So I'm going to talk about how we overcome this uncertainty fear in the practices. Control. We want to control everything and everyone. So that's a basic need of human beings in certain extent. We want to control all aspects of people and all aspects of life, right? And when we are not able to control these things, we suffer, right? And I'll talk about that, how you can overcome this control mindset, the fearful thing which we have, that if I can't control my partner or employee or the people around me, I will be losing things, right? So this is another challenge which we have. We want to control everything and everyone. This is one of my kind of favorite one, human doing. We are human doing, not being. Whenever I work with my clients, I see they are always on the go, right? They cannot be with themselves. We want to jump from one task to another, to the another, to the another, to the another, right? They are always doing something, and when we get hit by something, we start suffering, right? That's the fundamental challenge which we have, right? We are kind of busy monkeys. We cannot be with ourselves. We cannot connect with people. If we are meeting with friends or family, we want to create some activities. We can't be just with them. When we are even talking with people, I have seen a lot of times they are on the phones or they are mind wandering. We want to stay active. So this causes a lot of challenges. When we don't have something to do, we start suffering. So from human doing, it will be better if we become human beings. And human beings are showing love and empathy and connection and kindness, right? We have lost that, and that creates a lot of problems for a lot of people. Okay, so this one, resilio. Resilio is a word It's a Latin word where resilience comes from. And resilio means to spring back, to bounce back. And I'm going to tell you a simple definition, which is a psychological definition of resilience: the mental ability to recover quickly from depression, illness, or misfortune. Right? So it's the ability, it's a skill, it's a way of working, right? Whenever depression, illness, misfortune, or any kind of challenge happens, we bounce back, we recover quickly. So what we are going to do is we're going to learn some techniques and tools which is going to give you this ability to recover very quickly from challenging situations in your life. So that's our plan today. I'm going to talk about practices. So we have challenges and we all face challenges. So practices makes us happier and resilient. So basically what we are going to talk about is, as I said earlier, these practices can be used by your kids, your grandparents, or your parents, or yourself, right? So they've been designed in very basic and simple way, which can give you bang for buck, right? So I'm going to explain each of these practices, right? 6 to 60 years old, as I said earlier. So please don't think this is some complicated jargon, right? They are very simple and easy to do. So let's get into that. Okay. So this is a verse from Dhammapada. So Dhammapada is a Buddhist literature, and that's the teachings of Buddha, Gautama the Buddha, right? And I'm not going to get into the detail of the Sanskrit words, but what it means is this mind wanders as it like, wherever it like, at its own pleasure. I will train it like a mouth with a cord trains a wild elephant. I will make it steadfast. So what this verse is saying is, our mind, as we have seen, it wanders everywhere. But it's the training. We are training. Train is the key word. We are going to train our mind to become steady, happier, joyful, and resilient. So what I'm going to show you is practices are training. It's the training for your mind. And that's what we are going to do. Okay. The first one is my favorite, and I start with this, and this is the fundamental thing: acceptance. Whenever there is challenging situation, acceptance is the first thing which you have to start with. Okay, so what's acceptance? I'll tell you this little story. If you know this guy, if you have heard about this, Franklin D. Roosevelt, right? I'll tell you his story, his life story. He was born in 1882 in America, obviously. At the age of 1921, at the age of 39 years, what happened was he got diagnosed with polio. He was doing amazing in his career as a politician. So he wanted to become a politician since the younger age. But he got hit by polio. And in 1921, polio was a life-threatening disease. It could kill you, right? Right now we have all the vaccinations and things like that. But at that time, it was life-threatening. And what happened, if you look at his life history, from 1933 to 1945, he was the president of America. So for 12 years, he was the president of America. He got crippled at the age of 39, but he did not give up. He did not surrender to that life-threatening disease. So I'll tell you what he did, or the perspective of life he would have taken. So this quote, when you are distressed by an external thing, so for Mr. Roosevelt, it might be the polio, which is an external physical thing. It's not the thing itself that troubles you, but only your perception of it. It might be physically painful, but if you feel that, oh, I'm going to die and this is end of my life, the perception itself is not going to help you recover from any kind of challenging illness, right? So basically, the way you see the world, and why I have these glasses, I talk with my clients and I say, if you are wearing blue glasses, the world will look blue. If you are going to be wearing red glasses, the world will look red. If you lift your glasses, then you can see all the colors, right? So the perception is like your glasses, the beliefs, the value system, your upbringing, that creates the way you see the world. It creates that perception, okay? So acceptance, what does acceptance means? Acceptance means the present moment is sometimes unacceptable, unpleasant, or awful. Yes, there are moments in my life as well. They might be unacceptable, unpleasant, and awful. But acceptance doesn't mean you have to like that, right? You don't have to, like Franklin Roosevelt, he would not have liked this polio. It might be lot of distress initial days. But what you have to do is you have to accept and act. So what can you do? Okay, I got this breakup, or I have lost my job, or something like that. What can you do? You accept that the situation. And what can I do? Can I work to get my job? Can I work to get a new job? Can I work to recover from this life-threatening disease? If you keep arguing and keep complaining about the situation, you might not move on. Eventually, you have to accept. The earlier you accept, the recovery will be quicker. So that's the key. Acceptance does not mean you have to like it or love the situation. It's about accepting, okay, this has happened, and what I'm going to do is next is I'm going to take action to recover from this situation. So that's the first step or practice you can start doing, acceptance. The second one, the breath, which is the best thing you can do. The breath is one of the best tool which we have to become resilient and calm, right? So I'm going to tell you a very basic, simple technique. You can talk about this, and you can call it pranayama or yoga or any ancient technique, but this is very simple, basic technique. I call it 4-6 breathing technique. So it's basically on the count of 4, you inhale. So when you take your in breath, you count 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you exhale, when you take the breath out, you count till 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So this basic technique, 4-6, or you can do it 4-8. So basically you have to have your exhale little longer than your inhale, right? What it does is it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is one of the parts of your brain region, and that is used for relaxation and digestive system, like that. If you can take in any difficult situation 3 or 5 simple deep breaths and exhale little longer, it can change your mental and neurological structure, and you will feel more calmer, and you will be able to make right decisions in the moment. It can also bring you to the present moment rather than going in the future or the past. I utilize these techniques when my clients are experiencing a lot of panic attacks and anxiety and fear, right? This is a very simple grounding technique. I'll repeat that. On the count of 4, you take in breath, and on the count of 6, you can take out breath, right? And eventually you can go to 4-8 as well. You can do 3-6 as well. So it's basically the exhale has to be 1.5 or 2 times longer. then your inhale. So very basic technique to calm yourself in any moment. And this can take only 10 to 15 seconds. So anytime you catch yourself, you can do these 4 or 5 deep breaths and it will help you immensely. I do it and that's amazing technique. Okay, we talked about control. What can you control and what you cannot control? That's the fundamental thing which we are going to talk now, which is, okay, I want you to see these apples and I'll play a trick on your mind. So close your eyes for 30 seconds and your task is to not imagine about apples. So just close your eyes and please do not imagine about apples. It's 30 seconds. Your time starts now. I don't want you to imagine or get a picture or image of an apple in your head. Okay, your 30 seconds up. And if you don't know how to overcome this trick, you would have had an image of apple. So as you can see, what I was trying to prove is we cannot even control our thoughts, right? So that's a big challenging thing, and it's a big revelation when I do workshops in real world, right? So it is going to be an interesting observation. I'll take you through what happens, what we can control and what we cannot control. So what are the things which we cannot control? The weather, the traffic, the virus. We cannot have control on the traffic, the virus, or the weather. How others feel, if you say something or if you do something, how other people are going to feel. We don't have control over that. What others say, what are the things other people will say when you do something or when somebody meets you first time. What other people like, what they like or don't like. When I do my webinars or when I do my video, will they like it or not? I don't have control over that. Other people's thoughts, feelings, attitudes and actions in the past, present and future. So we cannot control other people's things, their thoughts, their feelings, their attitudes or action. We don't have control over that. Your own thoughts and feelings in the past, present and future. So as I said, and as we just seen that Apple experiment, we cannot have control of our thoughts and feelings as well. They come and go. So I'll give you another example. Let's say if I ask you to imagine one of the best and happiest moment of your life, that might be having birth of your baby or getting married or getting the job you wanted, and that could be the promotion you wanted, and I want you to get sad about it, like get the feeling of sadness, get the feeling of anger and frustration. So imagine the happiest moment of your life and bring sadness. We cannot do that, right? So our feelings are also not in control. Your actions in the past, we cannot go back. We don't have the rewind button and redo things, right? So it's a very basic thing, but we don't understand. There are a lot of clients which I work with. They say, oh, if I would have done this, if I would have done that, if I would have done that. We don't have control over our past actions. It has happened, and the best thing is we let it go. Right, so these are the things we don't have control over, and we try to control over, and suffering and frustration happens. So what we have control over, using protection. If there is a virus, if the rain is coming, we can have an umbrella, raincoat. If there is traffic, we can take alternate routes. We can use protection, right? That is in our control. Being kind, we can be kind. We can be loving ourselves and others. We can love ourselves, and that's the first thing. We don't love ourselves. We are always complaining about ourselves, and that is one of the biggest factor of not having self-confidence. So loving yourself and others, that's in your control. Working with enthusiasm. So whenever you do something, you put your energy, that's in your control. How the results are going to turn out, it might not be in your control, but you can put all your effort and have fun. How to treat others, that's in your control. As we said, love and kindness, you can treat with that. Your values, attitudes, and actions right this moment. That's the only thing you can control, your attitudes in this moment right now. We can control things which is happening in this moment right now. We can control our breath right now. We cannot control our breath in the future. We don't know. We can plan, but we don't know what the situation might be. So we cannot control anything in the future. The moment which we have right now is the only thing we can control. And as you can see in the background, it's like the metaphor which I utilize is you can control your own chess pieces. If you're playing chess, how the other player is going to play, we don't know. You can only control your pieces. Sometimes you make wrong moves, but that can be rectified in the future. But imagine this as a chess game. The life is a game of chess. We can control our own pieces, not other people's pieces. So if you understand these basic fundamentals of what you can control and what you can't control, your life will be very happy. Okay, so the next one is power-ups. Power-ups comes from gaming psychology, and this is from Jane McConigal, and she has been a scientist, and she has found this power-up technique. And what it is a power-up is any positive action. It's an action you can take easily that creates a quick moment of pleasure, strength, courage, or connection for you. So it's an action, right? You can take it in any moment which gives you pleasure, strength, courage, or connection. And when you do this, what happens is it changes your biology. It changes the structure of your cells. And when the biology changes, the psychology changes as well. And I'm going to tell you and show you how you can define some of your power-ups, right? Which can give you the strength, courage, and connection. So let's get into that. If you have played video games, you might know about power-ups. So let's see how we can define our own power-ups. What song makes you feel powerful, right? There might be a song. Think about a song. If you listen to that song, you feel, yes, I can do it. Or you come out of that feeling of stress or depression. So find a song. What food makes you feel energized? So the keyword is energized. So it's not about taste, but you feel, okay, if I eat vegetables or fruits or some kind of salad, I'll feel super pumped up. It gives me energy. Who or what helps you feel calm and relaxed? There might be certain people in your life, they might be making you feel calm. Whenever there is a stressful situation, you can go and connect with them and they would make you feel relaxed. So that's, or there might be some tools, there might be maybe a flower or a photo or anything that can bring calmness and relaxation. That would be a power-up for you. What physical activity energizes you? So before every kind of workshop, yes, I do feel anxiety and I also have those thoughts of what will happen, this will work, the technical bits will work or not work, people will like it or not like it, what will be the engagement. So I get all those thoughts as well before the workshop. So, but I have certain physical activities. One is 10 jumps. So I do these jumps. And that gives me energy. My heart starts racing and the blood starts flowing, and that gives me energy and it reduces my anxiety. So what physical activities which can help you feel energized? So these power-ups, they are very small things which you can utilize during your day. If you have 5 or 6 or 10 power-ups, whenever you feel down mentally, you can use one of them. And as you can see, they're not lot of time consuming power ups. And there is a list of worksheet. There is a worksheet which can help you define a lot of power ups. Okay, so these two actions, there is these two exercise which you can do, which can increase your resilience, right? So these two activities been proven by science and also comes from gaming psychology. The first one is love spree, which builds social resilience. And what this activity is, you have got 3 minutes to like, favorite, or leave a positive comment on as many posts on social media. You can use email or text as well. So if you are not a social media person, you can use this same technique. So set a timer for 3 minutes and just show love, right? That's it. For 3 minutes, I'm gonna comment, I'm gonna send messages, I'm gonna like as many things as I can. I do this practice twice or 3 times a week, and it helped me, right? So you think about this as helping you, but when you get positive comments, imagine how do you feel? So that's the same feeling you're giving to someone, and that is building connection and it's building social resilience. So first technique, very basic, takes 3 minutes. Love spree, do it. Next one, future boost. This is a mental resilience technique and it comes from the ancient wisdom. So what we are doing is name 2 specific things you are genuinely is the key word, looking forward to in the next week. If you can't think of 2 things, now is the time to schedule them. Something you are looking forward to. If there is a lot of challenging time if you're going through, think about next 24 hours. So you can say, oh, I'm looking forward to calling my friend. I'm looking forward to having this online meeting. I'm looking forward to do this dancing session. So any 2 things which is genuinely interesting for you or your life, right? How does it help is it gives your life meaning. When you are looking forward to something, when we are in distress, we are feeling sad and down and we don't look forward to things. So, but force yourself to do this. Just 2 very simple things. It does not have to be big deal type of thing. This is going to help you find meaning in uncertain times for you. So very simple future boost technique. It's going to help you. There are 5 W's. Okay. So we all get challenging situations. So I'm not saying, as we have said, confusion and suffering may be our birthright, but wisdom and happiness is available. So what we are going to do with these 5 W's is, if we get into a challenging situation, we are going to ask these 5 questions, which will help us find solutions, and it will help us try things which is going to help us overcome this challenging situation. So what are these 5 questions? So let's ask the first one. What am I feeling? Okay. So I'll give you a scenario. Let's say you are ready to go to a party and the rain starts, right? A heavy downpour, right? There is a lot of rain. What are you feeling? Are you feeling frustrated? You're feeling sad? There is a lot of anger about the weather. Like so define what you're feeling about the whole situation. The next one, what's the challenge? What are you feeling is the key challenge. So be very specific is with the challenge. So don't bring emotions when you're defining your challenge. So what you can say is, yes, it's raining and I need to go to this birthday party of my friend. We're not getting emotions into that. So what's the challenge? Be specific and explain the situation as it is rather than what you are perceiving. Okay? What could be the solution or solutions, right? So what can you do in this challenging situation? So this is your imagination strategy. So okay, I can use protection, so I can get umbrella or raincoat. I can call a friend to pick me up, or I can talk with my friend and we can postpone this birthday, or any other solutions which you can think. So think about solutions. Then which one I will try? So what will I try? I'll go and look for umbrella or raincoat. If I don't have that, I'll call a friend. And the third one is, as we have said, so which one will I try? Do I have all the resources? Do I have the time? Do I have the finances? So then you start thinking about the implementation strategies, right? And the last one is, what could happen if I fail or if I am successful? Let's say I don't have an umbrella. Do I go back to the solutions again and try to find what is the next thing which I can do? So these 5 questions are very simple, but it can take you out from any situation. It can help you find solutions for any challenging situations. And that's the same thing. I utilize these 5 questions with my own kids as well. And they can come out with their own solutions, right? So very simple 5 W's. Please utilize to find solutions to your challenging times. Day by design, this is one of the basic and most simple thing you can do. But when we are stressed or anxious or frustrated or angry, time management goes out of the door. Think about whenever you are sad, you don't know what to do next. You don't know how to plan your day. There are a lot of people, when I work with them, they are in long-term stress or depression or anxiety. They lose the basic fundamental skills of time management. And what we are doing with this skill, day by design, is, okay, let's imagine I come to you and give you this $1,440. So this comes to you every single day, but the condition is you have to spend it. Every single day you have to spend it. You cannot save it. So you will start planning about how to spend this, right? And start to accumulate things or buy things and stuff like that. So this 1,440 is the minutes which we get in every single day, right? That's the amount. That's not the amount, but that's the minutes which we get. If we can plan for money, we can plan for our day. So what we can do is, this is a simple example. I can spend 8 hours in sleeping, working for 8 hours, 5 hours for daily chores, learning and fun, and family time. So that gives you 1,440 minutes, right? So it's a very basic technique. So plan your day, right? Right now there is lockdown and self-isolations and things like that. So we don't know what to do. But if you plan your time, you will be in better control of your mind as well. So time management leads to better mind management. So do this, very simple. You can do it with your kids as well. Give you 1,440 minutes, spend how you're going to do it, right? And that helps them to control their boredom and anger as well at times, and tantrums. So this is very simple technique, can help you design your day. Next one, the 3M. This is one of the very basic and fundamental techniques. I utilize it every single day. So it's not only for challenging times, but you need to utilize these 3M's every single day. Okay, the first one, move. Moving is the best medicine. So moving could be aerobic, dancing, jumping, running, walking. It could be anything. And when you move, when you bring your heart rate up, it can reduce the cortisol, the stress hormone, and it can increase your happy hormones, right? So moving is the best medicine for a lot of things, and your immune system will get stronger, your biology gets stronger, your psychology will get stronger as well. So move is the first M. Make. So food for mind. When we are confused, when we are suffering, we cannot think about making something. So make your time useful, make it meaningful. So that could be learning something, that could be learning a language, or watching a video and creating something, doing some craft, playing some music, learning some moves, making some strategies or planning for your job, making some planning for your finances. When we make something, we feel the life is meaningful, right? So try to make something, make your day useful. When we don't, we just spend all the time watching TV or lying around in bed, we don't feel good. So having some kind of feeling of I have done something, it helps you become more resilient and you can come out of challenging situations quickly. The third M is meat, which is the food for survival. Food, shelter, and social connection. Social connection, which is the third most important basic need of humans. Food, shelter, and social connection. So keep meeting with people. When we are stressed, what we try to do is we get into a cocoon. We go and feel that, oh, if I share my problems with some people, yes, it is challenging. People don't want to listen to your challenges and your problems because they have a lot of problems. But meeting and sharing and connecting during the difficult time is always going to help. Connect via text message, an email, a video call, in person, right? Meeting is one of the main thing which you can do to overcome challenging situations. So the 3 M's are move, make, and meet. So please do that every single day. Next one is feeding your mind. This is a very important thing. What are you feeding your mind? This is, Gandhiji made it popular. It comes from a Japanese ancient wisdom. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil, right? So I'm working with a client and he gets distressed when he sees all the videos of horror of this coronavirus. So you don't have to see it. If you keep talking about the challenging times which we are having right now of the virus, we are going to have a lot of stress and distress, right? If you speak, right, if you keep repeating the same chaotic things in your family, everybody will be distressed, right? If you want to calm your kids, don't speak challenging things, right? They will also get distressed. So this basic thing, what you are speaking, what you are consuming, that is changing your mind every single moment. So keep an eye on what you are consuming. If you are consuming positive things, you will recover from challenging situation quickly. If you are repeating same things, which is helpful to your mind, it's going to help you recover quickly. So keep an eye on what you are consuming. Okay, so the next practice, and this is the last one, and you will not be resilient if you don't have gratitude. It's a very basic thing. Gratitude is one of the core component of becoming resilient and becoming a better person from the situation which you are in. So gratitude is very simple technique, and you can utilize this very simple technique every night. Okay, write 2 or 3 things you are thankful for. You can start with, I am thankful for a cup of coffee which I've been served, a caring message from someone, right? It's a very simple thing. An easy commute, there was no traffic and I'm thankful I reached in peace. A kiss from my kid gave me a kiss or a hug, right? A very simple thing. A friendly greeting, right? Somebody gave me, oh, you look amazing in this dress. That feels good to you, right? These are the things you are thankful which you have received, right? So you could be thankful for these small things. When we are in challenging or difficult situation, we cannot be grateful, and that creates lot of pain. We keep repeating the negative things which is happening to us right now, but in those moments of challenges we can find something to be grateful for. If you want to go to the next level in gratitude, you can be thankful to other people. You can say, I'm thankful for your kindness, right? I am thankful for your help in home, right? You are helping, right? That is what is helping me. So I am grateful for that. So what you are doing is you are sharing that gratitude. And when you share your gratitude, when you share your thankfulness to everyone, it is going to help you become happier. You can find the ray of hope, ray of light in any challenging situation, right? So gratitude is one of the best thing you can start doing, and you don't have to look for those unicorns, big moments. You can find very small things. And the scientific research has shown forced gratitude also change. Yes, you might say, oh, I have to force and think about what I'm grateful for. The whole world is ending and I'm in chaos, but I cannot find anything to be thankful for. Force yourself to find it, and eventually, if you keep practicing this, you will become more resilient and happier. So gratitude is the last practice. And this is the fundamental mantra or saying you have to keep it in your mind. As long as you are breathing, there is more right with you than wrong. Whenever I work with any of my clients, they could be suicidal. They might have attempted a suicide. But when I talk with them, I speak with them in this language. As long as you are breathing, you have the capacity to overcome any challenges. Repeat this in your head. As long as I am breathing, there is more right with me than wrong. As long as I am breathing, there is more right with me than wrong. I can change any situation. I have given you practices, and that practices can change any outcome, right? So this is a basic thing which you can keep repeating, and remember, you can change any situation. Those practices are very simple. You can do it any time of the day. You can keep repeating. The more you repeat, the better you will get, right? So it's very basic thing. I'm not talking about meditations and things like that. Meditation is amazing, but you can do this simple breathing technique. That is also a meditative practice. So with that in mind, this worksheet, whatever I shared, there are worksheets on my website, manageyourmind.co/worksheets. These worksheets you can utilize to practice. You can utilize to practice with your kids, your grandparents. What are your bucket lists? How do you solve problems? The power-ups I talked about. What I can control. So you can jump on and download these PDF files, and you will be able to practice these skills. If you don't practice, you will not get better at these things. So manageyourmind.co, it's co, not com. Manage Your Mind Consulting, it's .co/worksheets. Okay. Now, before we get into questions and answers, manageyourmind.co, as you have seen, and you have my number on the screen. If you want more techniques to be productive, happier, joyful, kinder, grateful, I am on the social medias, Facebooks, YouTubes, and Instagram with manageyourmind.co. Just search for Manage Your Mind and you will find me. I keep uploading tools, tips, techniques, practices regularly on social media as well. So, thank you very much for listening, and I hope I have been helpful to you. If you have any questions, let's start that questions now. And if you don't have any questions, jump onto the worksheets and start becoming superhuman. Thank you very much. And we start with the questions and answers. Thank you.